I'm in the food court when the fountain detonates into colored cubes, blue, red, yellow, launching like confetti from a broken video game. The glass dome above the atrium ripples with green code. Every ceiling panel flickers, the mall PA crackles, and a voice I've only ever heard in lobbies chirps. Connecting to server, please wait. A chair skids across tile, a soda geysers, someone screams. Then the cubes twist midair and snap into a perfect square portal that hums like a giant PC fan. A square fist slams down on the marble. Another follows. A hulking avatar drags itself out of the glowing hole, metal shoulder pads, a grill of jagged teeth, and eyes like LEDs. A health bar floats over its head at 100%. I know it. Everyone who installed the latest update knows it. The new boss from Mall Mayhem, a seasonal event that's supposed to be confined to screens, stands in front of the sushi kiosk and roars so hard my chest band vibrates. The escalators stutter and freeze. A map UI overlays the atrium, ghosted in the air. Level 1. Escape the mall. The exit doors blur, then harden into obby gates with yellow hazard stripes. Benches turn into spring pads. The pretzel stand folds like origami into a checkpoint tower with a spinning green halo. People scatter, clutching shopping bags and kids and dogs and purses. Security guards draw nothing, because their flashlights have become blocky foam, swords that squeak when they swing them. The boss locks on me with a metallic clunk. I don't know why I'm the target, but his gaze pins me like a cursor. A deep bass tone thrums, aggro sound. I run. My sneakers slide on the polished floor. I zigzag past the smoothie bar. Strawberries and ice explode into pixel confetti. I cut into Trend Cave, where mannequins twitch, their plastic eyelids flipping down and up like laggy UI. One raises its hand in a weird wave. Another flosses. A third dabs. I bark out a laugh that sounds like a hiccup. Then all three step forward in perfect NPC formation and chant in a jittery chorus. Join the event. Their heads rotate and keep rotating. I backpedal through the racks. Shirts retexture into repeating patterns of LOL and tiny swords. The mirrors on the pillars go glossy and deep, reflecting not me, but a version of me with a username floating over my head. Mine says at IRL_player 042. My stomach lurches. Somewhere behind me, the boss barrels through a display table with a crunch like breaking Lego. A claw machine in the arcade rattles itself awake without power. Plushies tumble out, but they're not plushies. Tiny noobs, glossy and squealing, drop like rubber chicks and scurry at my shoes. I stomp one on reflex. It pops into pixels with the iconic oof. 10 more leap at my ankles like piranhas with square helmets. I hop, shake, kick. A random kid with a bubble tea smashes them with his cup, slurping and screaming, tapioca firing like buckshot. We lock eyes in total terror. He nods like we've made an alliance. We sprint as a prize UFO crane swoops low, trying to pluck me by the hoodie. The atrium's polished floor fractures into a mosaic path of safe tiles and lava. The lava isn't hot enough to kill, until it is. A pop-up floats. Tip. Lava may suddenly become real. The universe trolls me and I laugh again because my brain can't choose a reaction. I jump to a bench that bounces. The crowd behind me tries to follow. A man misjudges and drops into orange light, yelping, then respawns at the fountain with a confused "where am I?" face and a faint puff of pixels. Relief shoots through me, so hard I'm dizzy. Respawn means safety, except the boss won't let me test it. I dash toward the exit. The obby gate scans my face like it's reading a QR code. Above it, neon text blooms. Requirement: collect 3 key cubes. My jaw hangs stupidly as 3 glowing cubes ping into existence around the atrium. One on top of a fake palm tree, one perched over the escalator arch, and one floating inside the fountain portal like a fish in a bowl. A squeak sword bounces off the boss's shin. A guard yelps and tosses the useless thing away. The boss swipes. The guard blasts backward, ragdolls, then reappears at the checkpoint tower coughing pixels like confetti. The boss laughs like a garbage disposal choked on keys. 2 middle schoolers, Bubble Tea Kid and his friend with a hoodie printed in neon lightning, line up next to me. We're party now, Hoodie says, voice trembling. We beat Dungeon Dairy last week. Same logic. Tasks. Checkpoints. Don't die for real. Don't die for real. I sputter. Some stuff sticks. Bubble tea says, pointing at a lady clutching her arm where a noob bit her. Blocky teeth marks pulse. We need power-ups. He tilts his cup like it's a potion. The UI pings, and a tiny icon of his drink appears in my peripheral with +5 speed for 10 seconds. I taste tapioca and adrenaline. Go, he says. We go. The first key cube sits on the palm tree's plastique top. I bounce from bench to planter rim to a newly spawned trampoline pad marked with a bold arrow. Each jump rings with squeaky toy sounds that somehow don't undercut the terror, just solve it with absurdity. I hit the trampoline and fly. Midair, gravity hiccups, gravity off, and we all float like balloons for a heartbeat. People laugh. Then gravity slams back to on, and I crash onto the fake palm leaves, clutching plastic fronds. The cube hums next to me. I grab it and feel it socket into my inventory with a shiver across my hands, like a controller rumble in my bones. Cube 1, secured. I glance down. The boss raises his head, eyes tracking me. His smile widens like curtains opening. He lifts an arm. The air warps. A square shockwave pulses toward the tree like a low-res tsunami. I jump. The shockwave clips the trunk. The tree disintegrates into individual parts with labeled nodes and falls apart midair with a soft pitter-patter of plastic. I land on the trampoline, knees screaming, and bounce into the second phase. The escalator has become a speedrun ribbon, steps fused into a rolling conveyor with neon rings hovering at intervals. Above, the second key cube hovers between two rings like a dare. The Geo banner flashes. I run. The conveyor yanks me forward. My feet blur. The rings ding as I pass through them, leaving trails like comets. A man with a stroller grimaces determination and sprints next to me, stroller empty and bouncing like a cartoon. We're shoulder to shoulder as the boss steps onto the other escalator and rides it effortlessly upward, all menace and no cardio. The conveyor flips direction mega fast, trying to fling me backward. I throw myself forward, fingertips grazing the second cube. It jolts into my inventory with that same interior rumble that feels too real for anything that should be a game. 2. I gasp. Hoodie and bubble tea cheer from below, then both duck as a clown NPC pogo sticks past, honking a horn and slapping a pie at random. It smears across the boss's shin. The cream texture glitches and renders as cement. The boss slows, one leg stuck mid-stride. I snort so hard I nearly choke. The fountain swirls, portal churning like storm water. The third cube glows deep within, as if daring me to drown in pixels. The corporate art fish sculpture that used to spout water now spouts text. Hold space to swim. I don't have a keyboard, but my body knows what to do. Or the world does. I dive. Cold cubes buffet me like hail. The portal water tastes metallic and too sweet, like licking a battery and a lollipop. Hands snag my hoodie and yank me down. A zombie NPC, plastic grin stretched wide, bubbles streaming from its square mouth. I knee it. It pops like a balloon and I scream underwater, a trail of pearl bubbles racing to the surface. The cube is close. I reach, and a glitch black eel snakes from the portal edge, eyes like white slashes. It wraps my wrist, pixels slicing like paper cuts. A status hovers, corruption +1. Panic detonates in my brain. I tear free, skin buzzing with static. My hand closes around the cube. The world chimes triumph. I break the surface, gasping, heaving myself onto tile as new gremlins cheer like a little league team. Doors. Hoodie yells. Go, go, go. We sprint to the gate. The 3 cubes spin out of me, slot into cavities, and the obby bars unclamp with a clunk you can feel in your molars. The glass becomes glass again, almost. The exit slides open a precious meter. The boss rips his leg free of pie cement, turns, and inhales. The lights dim. A beam glows in his throat. Move. I shove hoodie and bubble through. The beam fires. The exit explodes in shards and light, and sound like an angry microwave. The world goes white, then buff gray, then a smear. I hit the floor like a dropped controller. I blink. I'm not dead. Respawns swirl above me. I'm back by the checkpoint tower. Across the atrium, the doors have sealed again, gate laughing with yellow stripes. The PA voice chimes, cheerful like a kid's game commercial. Welcome, shoppers, to the shopping mall survival event. New rules set enabled. Last player standing wins. Confetti rains. Half of it is banana peels. Banana peels? The floor goes Looney Tunes. People slip. I slip. A man in a suit does the splits and invents a new religion. Laughter hiccups through screams. A sign hovers above me. Update applied. Banana rain. A second sign stacks. Mini event. Gravity off in 3, 2. The world yanks me up like a helium balloon. I spin, weightless, laughter ripping out of me because of course this is happening. A grandma floats past me with perfect serenity, knitting needles clicking in 0G. Then gravity slams back. We all crash in a pile. My ribs fizz like soda. Who's doing this? I groan. Who coded this? Bubble tea wipes tapioca off his face. Admin, he says darkly. The word sits in the atrium like a bomb that hasn't gone off yet. We form a plan because when the universe becomes an obby, plans are the only things that feel like handrails. The map shows objectives blooming on other floors. Disable sound system, 3/3 levers. Reboot elevators. Find the hidden patch notes. We split, not because we want to, but because the game UI literally marks us with arrows. You go here. You go there. Good luck. I'm assigned the sound system. Great. I head for the DJ kiosk set up for weekend events. Uns music regans and mutates into a boss theme that's somehow both inspiring and panic-inducing. Lever 1 hides behind a stack of speakers the size of refrigerators. A goblin noob clings to the cable like a cat on a curtain. I tickle it. Don't judge. It works. And it falls off, giggling, into a tip jar labeled Donate Robux. I yank the lever. The bass drops out, leaving a toothy treble. My heartbeat comes up to fill the void. Lever 2 is worse. It's under the stage, guarded by a janitor NPC with a mop that acts like a halberd. He speaks Ken lines. No running in the mall. Clean up on aisle everywhere. His movements are predictable until they aren't. He feints left, then slaps right. I slide under his mop and slam the lever. The world hiccups, music stutters, and his voice glitch shrieks. Clean up on. On. He freezes, then reboots with a smile. Have a nice day? He hands me a wet floor sign like a trophy. I take it because I am a raccoon who hoards junk. It slots into my inventory as trap, slippery patch. Lever 3 sits dead center in the food court on top of a giant jello cube that quivers with gelatinous malice. The floor tiles surrounding it flip to unsafe, cartoon skull icons. The boss strides into the courtyard like a prom king ready to accept my soul as a bouquet. I bait him, lead him over a puddle, and drop my wet floor sign trap, which blossoms into a perfect yellow triangle with a pictogram of a falling stick figure. He steps on it and windmills his arms. Everyone in a 100-foot radius bursts into instinctive, involuntary laughter. He recovers furious. I sprint, leap onto the jello, sink up to my knees, heave, slap, lever 3. The music cuts. Silence drops like a curtain, so heavy it has weight. In that silence, I hear something new, a whisper layered under everything, like a debug console in a whispery language. I focus and catch words. Boundary layer unstable. Player retention optimal. Inject next module. A shadow passes over me. I look up. Above the atrium, a rectangular hole irises open in the air. Not a portal. A camera. It swivels. It doesn't look at me. It looks through me. I shiver. Someone's streaming us. The PA returns, quieter. Mid-boss defeated. Proceed to escalator shaft for bonus round. The escalator yawns wide, steps folding flat to reveal a ramp sloping down into a neon underbelly. Arrows pulse. The mall breathes. I breathe with it because what else is there to do? I go. The maintenance corridors below the mall have turned into a level designer's playground. Ceiling pipes render as balance beams. Ventilation shafts emit comedic gusts that blow you backward like a cartoon hurricane. And every few meters, a new pop-up rule clamps onto the world like a bug patch. No jumping. High jump only. Floor is hamster wheels. That last one turns a hallway into a gym for rodents. I sprint hamster wheels like I've trained for this my whole life. My thighs burn in IMAX. My lungs are on strike and carrying signs. I collect coins I don't care about because collecting coins is a compulsion older than me. I snag power-ups, mag boots, brief, voice mod, squeaky, emote unlock, T-pose. I get stuck on T-pose and hate myself as my body locks into it in the worst possible moment. Rotating slowly on a moving platform while a horde of bacon hair players imitates me from a catwalk and chants, "We stand." I smash the emote off like I'm batting a bee. The platform glides into a chamber glowing with surgical blue light. On a pedestal sits a cube the size of a microwave. It hums at a pitch that makes my molars itch. Patch notes floats above it. I touch it and the world nods, then overlays text directly onto my retinas. I read fast. My heartbeat turns into Morse code. The notes mention my mall by name. They mention my city. They mention me, player 042 flagged for high engagement potential. They mention bleed-through probability. They mention Phase 2, classroom nightmare, like a schedule item. Hey, Hoodie's voice echoes in the corridor behind me. He slides into the chamber, grinning manic. We rebooted the elevators. Bubbles upstairs luring the boss into a trap using 6 churros and the national anthem. I swear to he spots the cube. His grin freezes. What is that? I swallow. Evidence. That sounds like a final item, he says warily. Final items have cutscenes. Cutscenes have betrayals. I don't betray you. I promise, because then I'll have to betray him, and I'm too tired for prophecy. I lift the cube. The room goes black except for the cube's glow. The camera rectangle from the atrium slides through the ceiling like a blade through water, swivels, and zooms. A voice I haven't heard yet, somewhere between a teenager bored with you and a god amused by ants, says, "Hello, player 42. I can't see the speaker. I can feel their smile. You're doing so well. Better than most. I hope you like the next zone." I don't. I say automatically, shaking. Pre-hate. 1-star review. Too late. A laugh like a glitched file. Next zone is more personal. The floor disappears. We fall. We land in the mall's rooftop lot. Asphalt stretching to the horizon like a racetrack on a sky ocean. The city beyond burns with neon edges. All lines thickened. Contrast cranked to 10. The boss shatters a ventilation hatch and climbs up, pie cement still clinging like shame. Bubble tea barrels out of a door with a crowd of survivors on his heels. For a second, joy punches through my fear. We made it this far together. In the middle of the lot stands a silhouette. Not a boss. Not an NPC. A person. Hoodie up, hands loose at the sides, a floating username bracketed by gold. Admin. The air around them pixelates at the edges like heat haze on cheap hardware. The camera rectangle hovers above their shoulder like a pet. They speak, voice phasing between a human alto and a text-to-speech. You weren't supposed to reach me, but the algorithm likes you. Their head tilts. It likes the way you keep moving when you should sit down. It likes your laugh when you're scared. Cool algorithm. I say, because my mouth is a car that rolls forward when parked on a hill. Tell it to like someone else. Can't. The admin says, smile audible. Retention. They lift a hand. The asphalt ripples into checkered platforms and bounce pads. The sky tears into strips of level. The survivors spread out, eyes wide, like pioneers on a new planet made of parking lines. The boss lumbers forward, the admin flicks 2 fingers, and the boss glitches into a comically small version of himself that squeaks with each step. Everyone laughs. Then the admin snaps, and the boss grows huge, teeth house-sized, breath like a busted air conditioner. Everyone stops laughing. You want us to fight? I say. Why? You could delete us. Deletion is bad for watch time, the admin says. People like hope. Their gaze lifts, to me. Through me. Past me. They like the feeling that they might win, even when they won't. I don't care what they like. I snap. I want out. They sigh like a streamer bored of chat. Beat me, they say, and you can leave them all. Is that true? Bubble tea whispers. The admin chuckles. I never lie. They say, obviously lying. The fight starts like all last fights do, with a beat drop and a series of quick-time events disguised as heroism. Platforms rise. Hazards spawn. The boss charges, and we fling ourselves into motion, 100 bodies learning a dance in real time. I bounce on a pad, sail over the boss's snap, and see a weak point glowing like a target on his spine. I land hard, knees complaining, and scream, back. Hit the glowing. My words turn into a yell as the ground splits, a seam opening between me and everyone else. I jump. The seam widens into a canyon of light. Hoodie launches a grappling hook he just has, because why not? Because we're past plausibility and into pure vibe. The hook catches my backpack strap and yanks. I slam into hoodie. We roll, laughing hysterically because fear and relief have the same face. You owe me a new strap, I say. He thumbs ups, eyes huge. The admin watches like a cat watches a laser pointer. Good TV, they murmur, almost fond. We don't beat the boss, we solve him. Bubble Tea, prophet that he is, lures him with churros and a national anthem remix into a loop where his AI can't decide whether to pathfind to me or the pastry. Hoodie trips him with a rope bridge that's also a snake. Several survivors emote encouragement with interpretive dances I can't unsee. I sprint up a maintenance ladder that wasn't there a second ago, launch off a vent with a hero yell that sounds painfully like my voice cracking, and slam both feet onto the glowing target. The boss jitters, health bar shredding like paper in a fan. He shrinks again, tinier and tinier, until he's the size of a rubber duck. He squeaks once. He vanishes in a pixel puff that tastes like toasted marshmallow. Silence, huge and bright. Wow. The admin says, a shape in the middle of a lot that isn't a lot anymore. You're better than my last batch. The camera above them tilts. It tilts not at me, not at us, but at a point beyond the lot, beyond the city, beyond glass and chrome and everything. It tilts toward the space the world shouldn't have, toward the place where a screen might be. A pop-up appears at my feet. Exit unlocked. It points to an elevator that wasn't there. Doors open. Warm light inside like a house you forgot you had. The survivors whimper with relief. Bubble Tea grabs my sleeve. We can go. I stare at the admin. We all leave, I say. No tricks. No tricks, they say, and their eyes gleam with mischief big enough to rent a room in. We file into the elevator, all of us, crammed and sweaty and vibrating like phone alarms. The doors close. A recorded voice announces in soothing mall lady cadence, "Thank you for visiting. Please take a survey." We groan in harmony. The elevator descends without moving. The world scrolls up like we're a UI element and the level's a web page. When the doors open, it's the atrium again. The fountain is a fountain. The palm trees are just plastic. The air smells like cinnamon pretzels and spilled perfume. The obby gate is a regular exit. The glass shows the parking lot. The sky is gray in a normal way. People cry. People hug. People take selfies because humanity is pathologically consistent. I don't move. Something's wrong. The edges of the world are too sharp. The shadows are perfect. The PA hum is back, but tuned to a key that makes my cuticles feel weird. Bubble Tea shoves a pretzel at me. We did it. Dude. 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 I say, eyes scanning like I can control F reality. On the floor by the fountain, a banana peel sits where the janitor would have cleaned it. On the pretzel stand wall, graffiti reads, "Patched, but not fixed." No one wrote that. It's typed in a font I've seen in DevTools. I breathe shallow. The world feels like it's holding its breath with me. The big LED billboard above the atrium flickers. An ad for back-to-school backpacks pixelates, then resolves into a black screen. The camera rectangle appears, crisp and predatory. It swivels and zooms until the entire screen is a single glossy eye. My reflection sits in its pupil as a dot of motion. The eye looks left. It looks right. It looks down. Not at me. At you. Hey, the admin says from nowhere and everywhere at once. Voice piped through the clean, boring PA, so casually you could mistake them for a sale announcement. Thanks for watching. Don't go far. The billboard snaps to ads again. Shoes that blink, a burger that oozes, a realtor smiling too much. People cheer, then laugh, then move on. Because what else do you do when your brain can't file what just happened? I nod at Bubble Tea and Hoodie, and we wobble toward the doors. The exit opens like a normal door opens. Outside, cars beep. A bus splashes through a puddle. My phone buzzes in my pocket. I check it without thinking because muscle memory is the real god. A notification sits there, just one, from an app one didn't install. Mall mayhem. Beneath it, smaller text in that DevTool font. Phase 2 ready. Classroom nightmare. I look up. Across the parking lot. The school sits a block away, brick and hope and alarms. The second-floor windows reflect an ordinary sky. Then the light catch changes. For a split second, every window shows a classroom with blocky desks and floating text. Level 2. Find your seat. The windows blink normal again. No one else seems to notice. I'm about to scream when my phone buzzes again. It isn't a notification this time. It's a stream. A video opens itself. The camera rectangle compresses, slides, and becomes a tiny lens in the corner of my screen. It points not at me. It points outward. A live chat crawls along the bottom in a language I can read and can't. Emojis pile. A counter spins. Viewers, 1, 2, 37, 118, 402. A white text overlay slides in smooth as butter. Would you like to enable camera and microphone? There are 2 buttons, allow and allow. I hit the power button. The screen doesn't care. The camera turns, and, for a breathless blink, I see through it. The reflection in my eyes, the boy I am, the mall behind me, the school ahead, and a tone like the first time you hear your name in a crowded room pings in my ear. The PA coughs for attention. The mall lady voice says, "We hope you enjoyed your visit. Please come again soon." The last word doubles and triples and stacks until it becomes a chord. Soon, soon, soon. Don't. Hoodie says softly, as if he can hear my thoughts. Don't look back. I look back anyway. Through the glass doors I see the fountain. For a second it's water. Then cubes ripple through it like fish under lilies. A noob face surfaces, eyes bright, smile too wide, then sinks. My spine fizzes like spilled cola. It would be funny if it weren't a threat. It is funny. I laugh because I'm tired and because laughter keeps the devils at the door. The laugh sounds wrong in the air. It sounds like a sound effect. We cross the lot. Every step feels like walking on saved progress. I swear I can see checkpoints hovering faint above the pavement, transparent halos only I can feel. The sky's grayness shifts into a gradient. The gradient has banding. Normal people don't see banding. I do now. At the corner, my school's bell rings. Kids spill like confetti. My phone chimes with a message that isn't a message. A text from an unknown number reads, "Don't be late." The timestamp says midnight. My mouth is dry. Maybe it's fine, Bubble Tea says, saying the words everyone says when they are not fine. Maybe events have cooldowns. Maybe, I say, and I want to believe it so badly I nearly do. Then the streetlight above us flickers. The light doesn't stutter. Its texture drops to low res for a heartbeat, then snaps back to HD. The hairs on my neck stand up so fast it hurts. We stop at the crosswalk. The walk sign doesn't show a walking person. It shows a blocky avatar, cheerfully marching. It blinks at us like an old friend. Hoodie squeezes my shoulder, and I realize he's shaking as hard as I am. "We'll stick together in there," he says. "We beat 'em all. We can beat a school." I hate that sentence, I say, and he grins a tiny grin that looks stapled to his face. We take a step into the crosswalk. The ground under the first white stripe ripples like a pressure pad. It pings. Floating above it, a little text pops. Checkpoint saved. Across the street, the school doors slide open before we touch them. A breeze pours out, carrying a smell like eraser shavings and fear. The lobby lights flick from yellow to neon blue. Posters for a bake sale retexture into posters for tutorials. A bulletin board announces patch notes assembly at 9 o'clock. I hear the whisper voice again, like a radio between stations, like someone talking through code. "Welcome back, player 42. I swallow. We never left. I whisper to no one, and to the camera I cannot see, and to the person I can feel looking not at me, but through the proscenium of my day. My phone vibrates with the weight of a gaze. Somewhere, a chat flies by. Somewhere, an admin's cursor hovers. On the floor just inside the school, a glossy strip of tape runs across the tile. It glows a welcoming blue. Co-play boundaries, written in friendly font, loops along it like a promise. We step over the line because that's what you do when lines are offered. An emoji heart sparkles. A pop-up floats, polite as a librarian. By entering, you agree to be filmed for quality and training purposes. I look up. The corridor breathes. Classroom doors click. A bell chimes in a mode I've never heard. A portal sighs open at the end of the hall, gentle and inevitable as sleep. Behind me, in the glass of the trophy case, my reflection grins a split second before I do. I don't scream. I inhale. I exhale. I step forward. And then I realize the strangest thing of all. The admin isn't watching me anymore. Their gaze slides past me, past the hall, past the school, through whatever lens they built and whatever lens I carry, and lands where no in-world geometry can ever describe. Lands at the exact place where someone might be holding a phone, leaning in, reading these words with their breath held, wondering if what they're seeing is theirs or mine. The PA clicks. Phase 2. It says in that cheerful voice from 1,000 malls. Now loading. The corridor lights cut, leaving a long tube of darkness edged in neon. Something moves in the first classroom on the right. A desk drags by itself, squealing a path into a circle. A teacher's silhouette turns its head a full boxy 180. And somewhere above us, maybe the ceiling, maybe the sky, maybe your hands, the camera light flicks on, a tiny green, like an eye opening. I take the next step anyway, because I don't know how not to. The door swings shut behind us with a soft, final click that sounds a lot like a mouse button. And if you heard it, if you felt it through the glass between the world and your world, then you already know what the admin just whispered into my ear, soft as a laugh, sharp as a loading blade. Don't pause.